Okay. This is kind of weird, talking to myself. I'm talking to my phone. I see myself on my phone. Anyway, for my Halloween video that I actually watched November 1st, so I have a November 1st movie. I watched the third episode in the first season of Black Mirror. It's on Netflix. It's called The Entire History of You. This was about, in the future, people had the ability to get this piece of technology in their head, hidden behind their ear, that allowed them to replay their memories. And so this episode was about this husband and wife, and they're at this party, and it's her friends, so it's kind of like her party, and he's there with her. And he arrives late because he had an interview and he had for this job, and so he had to catch a plane to go over. And he arrived late, and as he arrived, he noticed his wife was talking to this male friend in not so friendly, more friendly than friends sort of way. And initially he was like, okay, this is kind of weird. And the wife, straightened up after he came home, and she wasn't really as flirty, I guess, although she still was flirty with this male friend. But anyway, so as the night progresses on, the husband is kind of suspicious of his wife, and like, I think they're more than friends, or that they were more than just friends. And so they're arguing on the way home. The husband's like, oh, this guy was, he's nothing, right? He's kind of a jerk, And she's like, yeah, whatever. So the husband's like, oh, this is another sign that something's up between them. And so they fight, like any relationship happens to go. And he finally gets it out of her that they did have a relationship, and that something did happen. And so for the rest of the episode, I'm not going to spoil it for you because I highly recommend you watch it, but for the rest of the episode, he's kind of obsessing, and he's becoming very emotional, and he even says, look what you're making me do. This is not me. Why are you making me do this? Because she's not telling him or showing his memories, replaying the memories. I don't know if I said that. They can replay their memories and watch their memories because of this device on their head. So he obsesses about it, and I'm not going to tell you the end because watch it. I think you should watch it. I think you would like it. All of the Black Mirror episodes that I've watched all have this like psychological component that makes them super interesting, and it's like they're not that far away from reality that it's unimaginable. So anyway, to the reading. So I read the Beccara et al. Emotion, Decision Making in the Orbitofrontal Cortex. I don't know if I can really relate this to this reading, because this is a very neuroscience-y reading. I wasn't a huge fan of this reading, but it is what it is. There was a part, there was a bit in this article about like risk-taking versus impaired decision-making, and I believe that they had said in this article that they're making impaired decisions because they have this ventromedial trying to combine the two, ventromedial damage in the orbitofrontal cortex. So it's impaired decision making, but they did mention risk taking, and I think that having this sort of augmented thing for your brain that you can replay these memories back, it wouldn't be that much of a risk to kind of confront your spouse or a partner and say like, this is what you did. The risk would be maybe losing your partner or boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, whatever, and, maybe getting into an argument. But I don't think that the risk is really there because you have this backing, this, almost video footage that you can display on these monitors and show everyone, like, this is what happened. So maybe, I don't know, it'd be interesting how this would work with someone who had lesions in their orbitofrontal cortex, and I don't know. Maybe they can replay their memories and remember something that might prevent them from making a poor decision, an impaired decision. Another thing that this article talked about was working memory. And of course, if your memory is there, then you don't, the emotional association is there. And if you remember, I don't know if this is true, but I think if you remember, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Scrap that. But anyway, emotions and memory are huge in decision making because the emotions that surround memories, I think, guide more so than anything else. What else would guide besides your emotions in your decisions? But yeah, overall, this was an okay read, I think. The next article that I read was The Effect Heuristic by Slavic. I don't know their name other than their last name. Oh yeah, one thing from this article that I thought was interesting that might apply to this episode was the proportion dominance, having a side-by-side comparison. So they mentioned saving 150 lives versus saving 98% of lives. And if you don't have something to kind of compare your decision on, it doesn't, 150 to what? 150 to 1,000? It's hard to say. And so if you have this ability to replay your memories like you did in this episode, maybe, I don't know how comparison and emotions would play in. Or maybe maybe watching someone else's memories, you might have this, well, they had so much more fun doing this than I did, and that might make you feel bad about your life and yourself or your relationship with people. If the wife showed a video of her with her male friend in the past and a memory video of her and her husband, and it was clear that she had more fun with her male friend, then maybe the current husband might feel bad that, she's not interested in him as much. I don't know how that would work. And then finally, I read Bloom's Against Empathy, which I thought was pretty interesting. It was kind of provocative, I guess. Nothing really that I would have guessed myself. And this was about empathy being a poor guide to being a good person and doing good things. And I think that the main character was a good character. I don't think he was bad in any way. He did, challenge people and made them, I guess, think about their actions. But other than that, empathy, if you have a fully intact memory, maybe empathy isn't needed. I'm wondering if emotions are even needed. They would be in making decisions, but if you have the exact memory, I think that's such a strong piece of evidence for anything. It was actually quite interesting in the episode, as he was catching a flight to go to this party, the TSA people at the airport were like, okay, play back your last 24 hours, play back your last 64 weeks, and he could do it, and it was like 2 minutes, so maybe airport times would decrease if we had that. But anyway, back to empathy. Emotions are important. I think I kind of skimmed over that. Emotions are important, but if you have this clear memory, I think that's clear, true, 100% accurate. It seems to trump anything. I hate myself for saying Trump. Okay, this video is too long, so I will end it now. Bye.